Hey everybody, it is December 2nd, 2025. It's Joe from the Strange Voyage Files. And I did an unboxing of the Dio albums from Holy Diver to Strange Highways and realized I never did an unboxing of this other one. Now, this is not going to be an unboxing because it's open, but I do figure we just kind of take, as these all fall out, take a look at this one. Is the Dio years, the studio albums, 96 to 2004. These are the CDs, and then here's the big guy. So let's take a look at these. I did buy these. Now I had on album, I had none of these. I never had any of these on album. I had all these on CD before I sold my collection. But these CDs are going to fall out. So let's look at the CDs first. But I never actually had these on album. Now this one, so they have, all right, so in these you have Angry Machines, Magica, Killing the Dragon, and Master of the Moon. And it's funny because two of my least favorite albums are on this packaging. And then two albums that I think were very good comebacks. So here's I just did the ranking on this one. Does it suck? Yeah, I've listened to this. I don't know how many times lately. Angry Machines. I'm still gonna listen to it because I will tell you why. First off, I want to like every album that Dio came out with. The book, the lyrics. And secondly, I have been listening to Strange Highways. See if I would like that album better, because I traditionally cannot stand Strange Highways. I am really beginning to get into Strange Highways. I don't know if it's ever going to happen with this one. Strange Highways, I think I like it because it has that Sabbathy feel that everyone talks about off of Dehumanizer. And if you talk to Tony Iommi, there was an old interview around the time it came out where Tony Iommi made the accusation that Ronnie had taken multiple ideas from the Dehumanizer sessions for Strange Highways. Now there's still one I guess song. I don't even know if they ever say what song, but one idea that was in question. But I do remember when it was multiple. So, but Strange Highways is definitely growing on me. We'll see if Angry Machines does. I don't know if it ever will. That is my least favorite. Second least favorite is this one, Magica. This was his return to form as far as, wizards and magic and whatnot. And you also had the return of Craig Goldie and Jimmy Bain, I'm a monster Jimmy Bain fan. I love seeing Jimmy Bain's name on Dio albums, and it kills me that we never were able to see Jimmy and Vinny back together, because then Vinny leaves after Angry Machines, and Jimmy comes back for Magica. I like Craig Goldie, not a big fan of his. I mean, nothing that there's anything wrong with him. Nothing very exciting about him to me. Simon Wright never did anything for me. Now, these two albums are the ones I like. These I feel, are the ones that are really back to Dio form. And there's an Elektra single. Is it in here? It's supposed to be. Maybe it's on this CD. Somewhere there's Elektra floating around here. Then you get Killing the Dragon, which I think is his best album since you have that alternative cover on the CD that kind of brings Murray back. I like this. I was never a big Murray fan. I don't even remember where I was going with that. God, it sucks to get old. I don't remember. Totally don't remember what I was saying. But this one, this is the one where I really, really think he got back into form. And then Master of the Moon. A little bit weaker than Killing the Dragon, in my opinion, but still a a Dio album. You know, this is Dio. I think I was saying Simon Wright. Yeah, he never did it for me. But again, I had all these albums on, CD. I never had these on album. I had them on CD, and then I sold my collection after I put everything on Windows Music. But there is supposed to be a whatchamacallit Electra, which I would assume would be on Magica somewhere. But I'm missing out. Let's see. Electra. Huh. I don't know. I mean, I know where it is on the album. Is that extra? Maybe is there an extra CD in here or something? No. Interesting. And these have a couple of bonus tracks. Like this one has the God Hates Heavy Metal bonus track. I thought there was one for Magica. I don't know. I got to listen to this one a few more times. Maybe that's where I was going with this. I got to listen to that definitely a few more times because Magica is just not. It's his return to form, and I remember they really, really kind of pushed that as kind of the return of Dio. But it did not make the impact that it was supposed to. All right, here's the big guy. These are the albums. Again, I had all these on CD. I never had these on album. But let's take a look at these albums now. Yeah, I put the hype sticker, take it off the plastic, and I put it on there because I want to. Now, I know there's like the Magica single is in here somewhere. That one I know. So again, here's Angry Machines. Beautiful artwork. And I love this platinum Dio logo. But just never did anything for me. And I know we just looked at this. God, I guess that would go like this. When I did the ranking, I'm like, man, this is familiar. Yeah, because I just did the ranking. Cool. So again, a splattered vinyl. Pretty cool. I'm not gonna give up, man. I love Dio. I'm never gonna give up on Dio, man. But I don't know. I just this one is a little bit too 90s, 2000s. You know that industrial rock or whatever it is. It's just too much. Yeah, I don't know. Produced by Ronnie James Dio. I think that was kind of, I don't know. I always kind of felt that Ronnie needed somebody to say, hey, this is or is not working. Well, I can already feel this is a gatefold. I've not listened to these albums yet. I will get around to it. Again, the other two I like. But here's Magica. Right, we do have an open sleeve in here. Yeah, this is, okay. This is cool. This is a beautiful album. He was planning to do Magica 2 and 3. Let's see, there's that. All right, there we go. Kind of make sure everybody can see it. Before he passed away, so that's where we got Electra from. Now, you know what? There is what's his name? Billy Corrigan just interviewed Wendy Dio. Really good interview. Really, I hate the Smashing Pumpkins. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. That is really cool. I love that mix. All right. I know now this. I know I've had the 45. Maybe crazy, but Billy Corrigan just interviewed Wendy Dio, and it was okay, cool. There's that. This is gone. I'm gonna go nuts. And great interview. I've given Wendy grief in the past because I do kind of compare her to Sharon Osbourne. I don't like, same thing. I don't like, man, this is just awesome. I'll listen to this again because it looks so cool. Here's the Electra single. And yes, I will remember them talking about Wendy Dio in a second. Let's see this. This is cool. Blue. I'm not a big. I was never a big Smashing Pumpkins fan. Not a big Billy Corgan fan at all. And if you ever watch it, I gotta give him credit though, man. I will give somebody credit where credit is due. I love his interviews. He's interviewed quite a few people, and he does a great job. He really, really does. He asks some good questions. I do think he's a bit pompous. He kind of does he always, okay, all that kind of phony Seattle, and I know he's from Chicago. Trust me, I know he's from Chicago because I live in Chicago. But that pompous, you know, we're grunge and whatnot, but we're still no more than you. And he's always deep in thought. Okay, so when it's like it. My buddy and I, now I can't stand Billy Corgan. My buddy really hates him. My guy who got me into heavy metal when we were young hates him. We were just talking about Billy Corgan, and we compared him to the South Park episode where they all have new Priuses, and they're in there and they're so smug they're smelling their own farts. That's Billy Corgan to us. Is the such an arrogant SOB that he's like, oh, even my farts smell good. I'm Billy Corgan. So insightful. Next one is Killing the Dragon. I love it. This is a really, God. Push was the single. That's a really good song. Scream is the best. Scream off this album is by far it's a deep track. It is, I think it should have been a single. I love Scream. I think it is phenomenal. Let's take a look at this one. And again, this other Murray one, I know I'm in the minority of, I know people love Murray. Yeah, I think it hurt him. Nah, this one's not really. I'm Midge Yellow for the thing. Nah. I don't like that one that much. I know I'm in the minority, and I've said this multiple times. I think Murray on the album covers definitely hurt him. You go back to Number of the Beast, and yeah, you have the devil on there, but you have Eddie controlling the devil, and that's kind of their way. And that was a very controversial album cover. But you have Eddie controlling the devil, so it's like, no, the devil doesn't have power. Our guy Eddie can always control evil. He can stop the devil. So that's kind of their way. That's how they got around it. Then the singles came out where the devil and Eddie were fighting on Run to the Hills, and then a Number of the Beast, Eddie had decapitated the devil. So that was kind of Iron Maiden's way around to saying, hey, no, the devil doesn't win in this. Even Diary of a Madman, where you have the evil Ozzy on the front, the upside down cross, well, then you flip it over and good Ozzy is triumphed. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, I just did that interview. I wish that review yesterday, and the front is the evil and the 666, and you flip it over and it's all heavenly and godlike. And so there were ways to get around that. There's ways to do it and get around it back in the day. And Dio, I get it, man. I get growing up Catholic, and man, do I have my issues with the Catholic Church, especially how they hid these disgusting pieces of garbage that molested all these kids. I have a monster problem with that. A very, very big problem with that. And, Dio always talked about the nuns and the, he's obviously was older than I was. When I went to Catholic school all my life. We get slapped on the hand and stuff like that and whatnot, and we got erasers thrown at us. I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. We got erasers and stuff thrown at us. But didn't get it nearly as bad as like my dad did going to a Catholic school, or Ronnie did. So I get it. I get his I don't think hatred's the right word, but his issue with the Catholic Church. And Murray was absolutely a response to that. But I think it hurt him. I think in some ways he kind of, shot himself in the foot with that. But it is what it is. Then this sadly was the last one, Master of the Moon. Another great album. Again, I think it's not as strong as Killing the Dragon, but it's still a great. Out of these last four, Killing the Dragon and this one are the two that I go back to the most. I wish this was a darker blue. If this was the dark blue Electra was, or purple, actually. I love purple. And I'm not a big fan of the more transparent blue. Still neat, though. I love this Dio color. And when I got this shirt, I was really kind of bummed because I love this like blue and purple Dio color, the logo, and this didn't translate to that. Standout track on this one for me is I Am. I absolutely love that song. Very, very, very much a deep track. Shivers was the single on this one. Shivers is a good song too. A lot of good standout track. Master of the Moon is a great tune. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sucks that we lost Dio, but man, am I glad. If he had to go, I'm glad that something like this was the last Dio album instead of Angry Machines. Or even Magica. Now, Magica, I did a ranking with Dio albums on my old channel year and a half, 2 years ago. That was the last time I listened to that. I really want to delve more into the Dio, but I also have to do it sparingly because there's only so many albums, and once you're done reviewing the albums, then what else can you do? But I'd probably do them a few times because you know what? Why not? Beautiful box set though. This really is a beautiful box set. These are all the heavy vinyls. They sound great. Regretfully, I don't have a great record player, and part of the reason I don't listen to the sorry guys. Part of the reason I don't listen to the vinyls as much is because they sound like garbage on I have a little record player, man. The Far Cry from the big stereo system I had growing up. But yeah, that's why it doesn't. Not too thrilled with how it plays. Maybe one day I'll get a better stereo system, but I've already blown a lot of money on stuff. This is a pretty good lineup too. I mean, again, Jimmy Bain's in this. Doug Aldrich. I do like Doug Aldrich. I kind of bash a lot on Dio's guitar players, except for Rowan Robertson. Doug Aldrich would probably come in second for me. And then, yeah, it is Doug Aldrich, right? Yep, Doug Aldrich. Scott Warren on keyboards. He was good. Again, I'm not a Simon Wright guy, man. I'm just not a Simon Wright guy. But, yeah. Again, Jimmy Bain. And then again, man, we lose. We lost. Lose Jimmy Bain on this one. Now, this is the one where, what's his face comes back? Craig Goldie, yep. Jeff Pilson. He's okay. Craig Goldie. Simon Wright again. Simon Wright. But really, when you think of, drummers with Dio, you think Vinny. You just do. Again, beautiful box set. They did a really good job. And I highly recommend it. Definitely. I'm sure these things sound wonderful. I know I did play one of them. And again, I can't give a great rank. It wouldn't be fair for me to give a great rank because my system sucks. If you guys ever saw that, I have a video up of like my room where I have all my albums and CDs and movies and toys and all that stuff. You'll see the little shitty stereo system I have. But beautiful. This really is a beautiful box set. Ronnie definitely would have loved it. For sure. And in that interview with Billy Corgan. Yes. So you were Ronnie's wife. One of the things Wendy does say is that she found quite a few things. Sounds like possibly an album's worth, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. Of stuff that Ronnie had laid down. Ronnie, one of the great things about Ronnie, it's kind of like Eddie Van Halen. There's like a treasure trove of Eddie Van Halen stuff. It just, how they finish songs and whatnot. But Ronnie was always working. Ronnie was always doing something. She said even when he was watching sports, he was writing music. So there's quite a few songs. Now, Rowan Robertson had said in an interview that there are at least 2 songs, I believe, possibly 3 that did not make it on Lock Up the Wolves. If you know me, I love Lock Up the Wolves. It really, I know it's sacrilege to a lot of you. It's my second favorite Dio album behind Last in Line. Yes, I love Holy Diver. I love every song except for Shame on the Night. That's sacrilege as well. But it sounds like there's some stuff out there. So hopefully we get something. I mean, if Ronnie just did stuff on his own, he could. And she did say she was thinking of getting the band back together. So I'm assuming it would be, hopefully Vinny, either Vinny or Simon, Rudy Sarzo, maybe, or Jeff Pilson, Doug, or but I don't think it would be Doug Aldrich. I do think it would be Craig Goldie, though. He's been in that Dio Disciples band. I don't remember who else. Maybe Simon Wright's in that one too. I don't remember. But interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. You know what I got to do is I got to kind of do a review of the Last in Line band, because man, do they suck. I don't like those albums at all, and that really kills me to say, because as much as I don't think Vivian's a great guitar player, I really had hoped with Vivian, Vinny, and Jimmy writing things while Jimmy was alive, we'd get some good stuff. But I haven't listened to them in a while, and I gotta do that. I gotta listen to those 3 albums and do a review of that band. No way I'm gonna do individual albums for them, but I gotta do that band. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. The studio albums, everything that was not linked to either Warner Brothers or Reprise Records. So, yeah, Strange Highways was his last record on Reprise, which was the sub-label of Warner. After Dream Evil, he kind of got kicked down to the little cousin, which was Reprise for Lock Up the Wolves, and then Strange Highways, and then after that, he actually went to Mercury for Angry Machines, and it tanked horribly, and then he was at like Spitfire or something like that. But that was all bought out by BMG. That's how we have these 4. Because a lot of people always say, well, wait a minute, why isn't Strange Highways? Because they're really a lot of 2 sections of Dio. It really, from Holy Diver to Lock Up the Wolves, and then Strange Highways to Master of the Moon. And a lot of people are like, well, wait, why isn't Strange Highways on this box set? Well, different record company. All right, well, let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And hope you enjoyed watching the, not unboxing, but just kind of go review of these albums. They're beautiful albums. Absolutely beautiful. I'm not really... don't really want to end this on some of them suck, and sadly right now that's what I think for 2 of them. But the box set itself is absolutely gorgeous, and if you're a Dio fan like I am, get this one. I just looked it up on Amazon. I think it's going for like $130 or something, the album. Let's look. I got time. You got time? If not, you can hit stop, but let's take a look. Dio. It's better if we just put in 1996. There we go. studio albums. So if you hop on good old Amazon, 132. Wonder what I paid for them. We'll find out. We're going to take a look. So the CD, the box set, if you were to get the box set on CD, you could get it for $68.83. If you wanted the vinyl, you get it for $132.13. 2 used from 183. 3 collectible. I love that. Collectible. What does collectible mean? Still sealed. Yeah, well, guess what? You can get still sealed new on Amazon. I love when collectible. This is collectible. Let's see what I'll tell you guys what I paid for them. Let's see. Dio 1996. Let's see what we got. Few order details. The CDs, I paid $69.40. Oh, but I had Strange Highway. I bought the CD Strange Highway with it. So no, when I bought it, it was $46.10. The albums box set. No, that's the same. Actually, I spent a couple dollars more. $139.09. So it's held. It is held steady. It is really held steady. And then I just hop back. It says list price $174. So who knows? It's part of the Cyber Monday or whatever. So yeah, I guess if it really is going up to $174, you want this thing, buy it now. So all right, thanks for watching, and I will see you.